Hello and welcome to the Daily Line at BetRepublic.com. I'm Jarvis Symes. This is Greg Dempson. Greg, welcome.
Greetings.
We are looking through some of today's hot sports action for the betting perspective. We've got college hoops, we've got NBA, also have some NHL to talk about with some picks, some selections we're looking at ourselves. Greg, let's not waste any time. Going into the NBA, it's a big card tonight, 12 games. And we're going to start things off with Memphis at New Orleans. Hornets are laying 2 points. We're seeing a total of 201.5. I know you've got some juicy numbers on this one for us. Tell us what you got.
Well, Hornets, they've won 9 straight against Memphis Grizzlies. They've won 5 straight at home. It's a small number here tonight, Jarvis. -2. Basically, a win should get you, the worst-case scenario, push.
Should get you, right? Hornets have won 9 straight as well.
That's right. It's not shoulda, coulda, woulda. I do like this game.
Yeah.
I like the home team -2. There's a couple of good factors. Each team is kind of playing down. They haven't been performing as well lately. 5 wins and 9 losses for each team, their last 14 straight up. The home team in this spot, 31 wins, 30 losses. And in that situation, Memphis, when matched up against this type of an opponent, they haven't fared that well. They are 4-13, Jarvis, ATS this season. Okay, and another scenario that I have on New Orleans, they're 29-11 in this spot. If they've allowed 3 straight games where they've allowed 47% or higher in shooting, they 29-11 ATS going all the way back to 1996.
29-11, that works out at approximately 74%. I like those kind of numbers.
Yeah, so I like the home team here. Small price. New Orleans -2 at home. They've won a couple games in the last. They're 4-2 their last 6 at home. They beat the Magic straight up, which is a better team than Memphis, and they also beat the Celtics straight up. On some days, the Celtics are a better team, some days they're not. So for laying 2, I think it's a small price, a fair line. I made the line at 3 in this game. I like New Orleans -2.
Greg's playing New Orleans -2 in the NBA. It's a big card in the college hoops tonight as well. We talked about the college card on the Daily Line at BetRepublic.com today. One game that Greg has circled for selection tonight involves Rice at Houston. Laying 14.5 on the full game is the Houston team. Rice 146.5 is a total. But Greg's got some numbers on a first-half play, and this is like a David and Goliath system you've been talking about.
This is one of those, as we used to say on the old Every Edge, a winner's edge, winning ugly.
Winning,
you gotta
it's
go.
not ugly, but it's profitable.
It's ugly, but it's profitable. That's right. You want to take a team like Rice. They're not a great team. They've lost 3 straight games, their last 3 by 10 points or more. They're on the road. This is a first-half situation. They're getting a certain amount of points, and they're playing a team that scored 75 points in back-to-back games, and that, of course, applies to Houston. By backing the road dog in this spot, and the line is +7.5, we have gone 77-29, 73% against the spread. But more importantly, Jarvis, what's really kicking butt, this system is 13-0 this year against the spread, 55-18 the last 3 years. How can you not take Rice tonight +7.5 points in the first half as an official selection? Now, before we get to hockey, one thing I want to tell you.
13-0, I like that.
13-0, I know. He can't wait to go and bet it, guys. I'll tell you one other thing. If you go to the website this evening, BetRepublic.com, you will see 2 selections that I have. One is between Duke and Maryland, not just because they're TV plays. They fit all my guidelines. I never force a play. They fit with what I deem to be the correct side. I like a situation with Duke and Maryland, and also Oklahoma State and Texas A&M. You can get those at BetRepublic.com.
BetRepublic.com, and the Daily Line goes live every day at 3 p.m. Eastern. We're going to move into the NHL just briefly. There's 6 games in action tonight as the big machine kind of gets its gears rolling after the Olympics. Went back to 2006 and looked at how teams did in the first week following the Olympics, just trying to spot situations. I think right now you've got to be really cautious about putting too much weight into a trend or a system, because these are situations like you're going to have teams off extended rest. Well, they're all coming off extended rest right now. You've got to look at how many players were available in the Olympics for the rosters.
Yes.
Who did what the coaches were like, travel situations, and there's one coming up in the Detroit game tonight. Vancouver's in town that I like. Greg, you've got some over-under numbers for us as well?
Yeah, we have a system on that game, Jarvis. Again, just an opinion on this, not an official play because we haven't confirmed who's going to go in the nets for the Canucks as of this show.
I think they're keeping Luongo card close to their vest right now because obviously Raycroft was able to get a win last night in Columbus, comeback win. Luongo was in net throughout the tournament, not the whole time, but he did play the gold medal game.
Yeah, this system on the under, 57 overs, 101 unders. It's 2-1 to the under this season. And another ice angle here, Jarvis, is the Red Wings at home this season when the over-under is 5.5 goals, exactly 5.5. They've played 21 games. 17 out of those 21 games have gone under the total, which is a nice percentage. And the Canucks on the road, after having won 4 or 5 out of their last 6 games, going back the last 2 seasons, they've had 28 overs and 44 unders when on the road. So a couple angles, couple systems. Can't confirm the starting goalie, just an opinion on that game.
We do know that Jimmy Howard's going to get the start for Detroit. The Red Wings came back. This was a bit of an anomaly this year. They came back and played a single-out game on the first day back from the break in Colorado. They had Mike Babcock behind the bench. He was the winning coach with Team Canada for the gold medal. Detroit stood up at the Mile High City, came away with a 3-2 win.
Yeah.
Detroit has not been this healthy as they are right now since October. They are still listing some players as questionable, but Detroit looks like they're going to start finding some pieces right now. They've got a winning attitude with Babcock. They've got Howard and net. The pieces are coming together. Vancouver has been on the road for what seems like months right now. They were traveling before the Olympics. They were off for the Olympics, but they had some players involved. They also are back on the road for a few more games while the Winter Games finishes up in Vancouver. So now you've got Vancouver coming off a game last night, a win. Only 7 teams played back-to-back road games in the first 3 days back in 2006 after the games. Only 5 of them were able to win the first game. And out of those 5 teams that won their first game, which is the situation Vancouver is in, only 1 of the 5 was able to win the second game out. This situation also applies to the Philadelphia Flyers tonight, who are playing against Florida. It's not as much of a travel situation for Philadelphia because they were in Tampa Bay last night, but I like Vancouver after a comeback win last night, going to Detroit to not be quite as up for this capable Detroit Red Wings team. My play for tonight is on the Detroit Red Wings, laying half a goal, getting back plus money to take down the Vancouver Canucks. Greg, you want to recap your plays?
Yep, we'll recap my 2 selections. The first play was in the NBA tonight. I like the New Orleans Hornets, -2 points. College basketball first half selection. Take Rice, the Rice Owls, +7.5 in the first half.
And my play was the Detroit Red Wings, laying a half goal to win in regulation time in the NHL. If you want more news, more action, more picks, and more systems from Greg, come by BetRepublic.com. We've got lots of stuff up in the stadiums there, lots of great articles as well. Thank you for joining us on the Daily Line. We'll see you next time.